What if every team had the Chiefs and the Cowboys playbooks? Now, a lot of people agree that these playbooks are really good in simulations in Madden. So we're gonna see what happens if every team has them. Now, we're gonna do 6 different simulations in this video. The first 3, we're gonna have every team with the Chiefs offensive scheme, defensive scheme, offensive playbook, and defensive playbook. And then we'll turn around and do the same exact thing with the Cowboys, their scheme on offense and defense, and their playbooks on offense and defense. Now, some initial thoughts. I mean, certain teams might do a lot better. You know, you expect it because teams like the Bears, the Cardinals, you know, teams that tend to have terrible simulations no matter what, that I almost never see in the playoffs. They're probably going to do better, or they might do better. That's what we expect to see. But teams like the Ravens, who are really good with their own playbook, their own play style, their own scheme for Lamar, might actually do worse because there might be less quarterback running. And obviously 3 sims is not enough to make a solid conclusion. But you guys could also do it at home and you know, detail your results. It doesn't take too long. And this is not meant to expose or embarrass the Chiefs or the Cowboys, but rather just to find out the truth of these Madden simulations. Are these playbooks that OP? Are these schemes that OP? Or is it just the rosters? Or is it just Madden being Madden? All right, so simulation number 1, as you see, we're scrolling through all of the team schemes and every single one is West Coast spread, base 4-3, Kansas City offense, Kansas City defense. The Ravens go 15-2 when every team had the same exact playbook scheme and everything. Chiefs still did it really well, 13-4. Steelers improved to 13-4. Colts, Texans, Titans, and Bills end up in the postseason. Dolphins did worse, 8-9. You know, with a playing field that's pretty even. Bengals 7-10. Browns 3-14. So they suffered as a result of this experiment, even though it's only the first sim. Commanders go 15-2. So, hey man, off the bat, it's looking good for those, you know, teams around the middle tier. Cowboys 13-4, so they still did really well. Niners, Eagles, Packers, Saints, and Seahawks. Saints did better than usual too, 11-6. Now the Bears 10-7. Come on, man, I told you playbooks had something to do with it. The roster was too good to always be at the bottom. Lions 9-8, Vikings 8-9, Cardinals and Giants 2-15, 1-16. Panthers, Rams struggled. That's a little wonky. I don't know. The roster's too good to go 3-14. Falcons 4-13. So yeah, 5,000 yards passing for Jordan Love and Caleb Williams. All he needed was a different playbook and scheme, man. I try to tell y'all. Mahomes still ends up top 3. Goff, and then Hurts in the top 5. Hurts 4,700 yards, 47 touchdowns, 6 INTs. You know, the Eagles playbook, you know, they had him running a little bit more. So in the Chiefs scheme, he had to pass more, and you saw the results. Lamar 4,300 yards, 33-4 ratio. Who had the least amount of yards? I'm curious about that. Okay, 3,500. So in the Chiefs playbook, you're passing a lot more. Jalen had the most passing touchdowns. Love, Goff, Caleb, and Jaden Daniels round out the top 5. Mahomes at 6th, then Minshew, Rodgers, Levis, and Stroud. So Dak tied for the 10th most touchdowns. Look at that ratio. Burrow 31-1. Crazy stats so far, not gonna lie, man. Rushing wise, Henry still did his thing. McCaffrey. So it hasn't affected rushing so far. I mean, these are guys you see at the top usually no matter what. So Kyren, Connor, Cook right outside that 1,000 yard mark. Henry, Kamara, McCaffrey, Jones, Mixon. I mean, you know, the usual suspects at the top when it comes to rushing. Now receiving, Keenan Allen led the league in receiving yards. DJ Chark, Jaden Reed, Devontae, and Amon-Ra, all with the Chiefs playbook, ended up cooking. Kyle Pitts was up there as well. So many guys with 1,000 yards receiving. I'm seeing a lot of tight ends up there. So it makes sense. The Chiefs use Travis Kelce a lot, and, you know, it produces a lot of numbers at the tight end position. Look at that. Look at how many tight ends have 1,000+ yards. This is crazy. Almost every team. Like, we're still scrolling to the last player that got to 1,000, Dalton Schultz. I mean, the leading reception getter was Mike Gesicki, a tight end. 4 of the top 5 were tight ends. Njoku, Laporta, and Pitts. Then you have Kelce right there. Keenan, 21 touchdowns. Ertz, 17. Boyd, Amon-Ra, and Musgrave, along with Goddard and Bowers in the top 5, man. Crazy. Quick look at the defense. Why not? We'll check the stats in every sim. Garrett with the most sacks. Hilton and Aziz with the most INTs. MVP goes to Hurts in experiment number 1. 1. OPOY Henry, Lamar right behind him. DPOY Garrett. Keenan wins OPOY in the NFC. DPOY goes to Bosa. First playoff bracket of the video, Commanders, the 1 seed, and the Ravens, the other 1 seed, Maryland, on top. Only one of them gets to the Super Bowl though. Ravens took care of the Chiefs. Credit to them for still getting really far. Baltimore usually always gets far in these sims, so that's not too surprising to see them there. Niners, same thing. But Commanders made it all the way to the Final 4. I'll be honest, that's something that I haven't seen in a while. I don't know if I've seen it in months, maybe all year. And that's not a shot at the Commanders. It's just Madden is coded in a way that usually you see like the Cowboys up there, the Eagles sometimes. So it's nice to see some different results, man. Quick look at the postseason games so you know there's no forced wins or anything. Let's see who comes out on top in the first Super Bowl. First up on offense, San Fran. McCaffrey getting the first touch of the game, 5 yards. Chance for the Ravens to get off the field though. 3rd and 3. 4-man rush, Purdy to Jawan Jennings. First down. Later on in the drive, Brock Purdy trying to get them in field goal range is being a little too ambitious. Nate Wiggins, the rookie, with the interception. And the Ravens escape drive number 1 without giving up any points. What a play. So far, Lamar's stock has to be going up, man. He had an even better season than normal in a brand new playbook. So for those saying that he can only thrive when he runs a lot, I don't know how true that could be. I mean, they went 15-2. Now they still have to get the dub in the Super Bowl. Bateman getting them the first down. And to be honest, they don't really have to win. I mean, they're playing an amazing Niners team, one of the best rosters in the league. And they've already made it this far. So, I mean, that's still a successful season. Crazy block right there. Henry with the stiff arm could not get the first. Both teams with a goose egg on their first drive. We're going to do 6 different Super Bowls. So you might as well make sure we get gameplay in all of them. So we're going to sim to the 4th quarter, see if it's close. If it is, we hop back in. Ravens 14-10 at one point. Niners take the lead back. We are on the seesaw, people. We got ourselves a good one. Less than 2 minutes left. Can Purdy and this offense get the first dub in the first Super Bowl? What a catch by Deebo Samuel. Just like that, they're across midfield. Ravens cannot stop the clock anymore. Here's the game-winning kick from San Fran. So in sim number 1, the Niners are Super Bowl champions when everyone has the Chiefs playbooks and schemes. All right, so now we're going to do the same exact thing. Everything's the same. Schemes, playbooks, all the Chiefs. This is simulation number 2. We'll see if we get similar results. We'll see if teams like the Bears or the Cardinals or even the Rams will have better seasons. We'll see if the Ravens can keep their success. Same with the Chiefs, Cowboys. Will the Commanders end up with the 1 seed again? Ravens end up with the 1 seed again. Colts this time end up with the 2 seed. Browns, nice improvement for them. They end up 11-6. Chiefs still make the playoffs. Steelers, Bengals, and Dolphins all in the postseason. Bills, Jets, Chargers, you know, all around 500. Same with the Texans. Titans go 4-13 this time. Last in the AFC. Now in the NFC, the Packers with the 1 seed, 15-2. Cowboys 14-3. So right now, them and the Chiefs, they're beating the allegations of just getting carried by playbooks. Like clearly, you know, the roster has something to do with it. When everyone's on an equal playing field and they're still making it deep, or at least getting good regular season records. Eagles, Niners, the Bears made it 9-8 when everyone has the same playbooks and schemes. I don't know, man. I'm feeling a little validated. I feel like we are a little validated right now that playbooks, I don't know, they need to be a little tuned because, I mean, come on, man. I haven't seen the Bears make it in so long. Commanders make it in back-to-back simulations. Now, I've seen them make it in the past, so that's not too far-fetched, but they did only go 8-9. Same with the Saints. The Vikings go 8-9. The Lions haven't made it yet. Rams, I don't know why they're doing so bad. 6-11. I mean, I've done a video before of, you know, does Madden hate the Rams? You know, that type of video. So this is not a new thing. Like their roster, even when they had Donald, they were always getting bad sims. Bucks, Seahawks, Cardinals 5-12, Panthers 4-13. Anthony Richardson, the only 5,000-yard passer, hurts. Deshaun Watson, Lamar, and Aaron Rodgers in the top 5. Where's Mahomes? Holy, 4,400. I mean, he still had a good touchdown interception ratio and a really good yards total. So I mean, everyone just threw for a lot of yards. That's what happens in this Chiefs playbook. Once again, Daniel Jones, 3,500, least in the league, but he had more touchdowns than interceptions. That's a good thing. Lamar, most passing touchdowns, only 5 INTs, probably going to win MVP. Let's go ahead and see the rushing real quick. Don't want to take too much time. You know, we got more sims to get to. McCaffrey, 26 rushing touchdowns, most in the league. Zeke right behind him. Receiving wise, Devontae with the most. Conklin with the most receptions. Yeah, tight ends. are thriving in this experiment so far on the Chiefs side. We'll see how they do with the Cowboys playbooks. Watson, the most receiving touchdowns. Quick look at defense. 18.5 sacks, Crosby, Bosa, Reddick. Yeah, it's not going to change too much on defense. Retained most interceptions, even though we did give everyone the Chiefs defense and the Chiefs scheme, you know. Anywho, Hurts wins MVP again. Wait a minute. This is helping my Hurts agenda, you know? Hey, man. OPOY goes to Chubb. DPOY goes to Crosby. McCaffrey wins OPOY in the NFC. Bosa wins DPOY. I'm happy for the Bears, man. They're in the playoffs. Now their division rival, Green Bay, has the 1 seed. Ravens with the 1 seed again. You have the Chiefs and the Packers in the Super Bowl. Now, I've seen Green Bay make it deep before, so this is not some anomaly, you know, that's just based on playbooks. Chiefs, credit to them. Back-to-back Final Fours. Nothing changed on their side. Cowboys got first rounded in 2 straight playoffs. I'm just saying. I don't know. It's a short sample size. You know, we're going to see what happens when everyone has the Dallas playbooks and schemes. But right now, I'm keeping my eye on that one, man. The Commanders, that's back-to-back sims where they get a dub. Now, the Bears didn't. Unfortunately, man, I was low-key rooting for them just because, I mean, when's the last time they made it in one of these videos, man? So I wanted to see them experience some sort of success. But yeah, man, this is what we have. These are the results in simulation number 2. Green Bay with the football first. Love with Jacobs, Watson and company. Ooh, good deflection by Justin Reed. I mean, we could easily see this matchup in the Super Bowl in real life. Both teams obviously made the playoffs last year. Love struggling so far in this one, but I mean, we saw the talent from him last year. Who's to say he won't improve on that? But hey, rough start in this Super Bowl. 0-3 and a quick 3 and out.
Wait till you see the...
He needs some milk.
Never mind. We have a running into the kicker or a rough in the kicker. Let's see what they're going to call. Regardless, Green Bay, I think, is going to remain with the football. 15-yard penalty. Very next play, Love trying to get his first completion, and he's going to do it. Jaden Reed. Beautiful catch. And this time, they're going to settle for the 3. What better way for the Chiefs to silence all doubt than to win the Super Bowl in the second sim where everyone has the same scheme and playbooks as them? Pacheco with a nice play on first down. Very next play, this time he's gonna run the football, get a nice gain on the ground. Mahomes on his second pass, going over the middle, that's Xavier Worthy, getting them across midfield. We haven't talked much about the defensive playbooks, defensive scheme. 4-3, probably need a good interior D lineman to get far, and the Packers have that. Okay, Kenny Clark on the interior, and they have some good pass rushers. Rashawn Gary on the outside, good secondary with Jair. So, you know, the scheme fits them really well. Anyways, Mahomes gonna take off. You gotta be able to scramble a little bit, and obviously he's able to do that. Chiefs take the early lead, but can they hold on to it, man? They need the dub to silence all hate. Actually, they really don't. I mean, hey, come on, you already know Mahomes, best quarterback in the league. Playbooks, it doesn't matter. They're gonna cook no matter what. However, look at the Packers, 34-24. They might win a Super Bowl in the second simulation. Only a few years after losing Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love helps them hoist the Lombardi. We do a lot of sims on this channel. I haven't seen the Packers win in a while, so I don't know what that says. So far, the parity is looking pretty good. I mean, you've seen the Commanders go deep, the Packers win the Super Bowl, and we're only 2 sims in. All right, simulation number 3, with everyone having the same playbooks and scheme as Kansas City. Remember, we're doing 6 simulations, and since, you know, we're doing 6, I would love if we can get to 600 likes on this video, man. I think we can make that happen. 3 straight sims where the Ravens end up with the 1 seed. The Colts go 13-4. Maybe they make a deep playoff run this time. Bills end up with the 3 seed. Then you have the Chiefs, the Texans, Bengals, and Dolphins. NFC, the Packers, 13-4, looking to go back-to-back. Niners looking to get 2 out of 3. They end up with the 2 seed. Cowboys, the Lions, there we go, 12-5. I think that might be their first time in the playoffs in this video. Eagles, Saints, Falcons. Rams go 8-9. Bears, same thing. So we have not yet seen Los Angeles in the playoffs. Bears only got in once. Commanders, first time they missed the playoffs. Cardinals near the bottom, same with the Giants and Buccaneers. Most passing yards, Anthony Richardson. Most touchdowns, Mahomes, taking back his crown. McCaffrey, most rushing yards. JT, most rushing touchdowns with 26. Most receiving yards, Travis Kelce. But most receptions, Zach Ertz. And most receiving touchdowns, 16 by Hayden Hurst. I think that's the first time I've seen 3 different tight ends lead to 3 different different categories when it comes to receiving. Most sacks, Micah Parsons with 21, Buda Baker, Darion Kendrick, and Teron Johnson with 7 INTs. Mahomes wins MVP this time. OPOY goes to Jonathan Taylor. DPOY, Daniil Hunter. Jacobs wins OPOY in the NFC. Parsons wins DPOY. Baltimore and Green Bay are 1 seeds. Will we have new faces in the Final Four? Not really. All 4 of these teams have been in the Super Bowl already. In this video, we have a repeat of our first matchup. So this time we're just gonna sim in the Ravens. Get revenge. Super Bowl MVP Lamar Jackson helps them hoist the Lombardi. And those are our 3 sims with the Chiefs playbook. Now we're going to do the same thing with the Cowboys. Quick reminder, this time I gave every single team the Dallas Cowboys offensive and defensive scheme, along with the offensive and defensive playbook. They have West Coast zone run and 4-3 under. Let's see what kind of conclusions we can draw from this one. Just like we saw the Chiefs, make tight ends extremely dominant. Maybe the Cowboys helps, quarterbacks throw for even more passing yards. Kansas City goes 15-2. They improve with a different team scheme and playbook. Now granted, it's only 1 sim, but look at the Jets, 11-6. You have the Bengals, Ravens in there, the Bills, Dolphins, and the Colts. Chargers on the outside looking in. Texans 9-8 as well. Browns and Steelers 8-9. Broncos, Patriots, and Raiders, along with the Jaguars at the bottom. NFC, you have the Cowboys going 14-3. That's a good start for them. Okay, destroying the expose early on. Now granted, once again, it's only 1 sim. You have the Packers, the Niners, Eagles, the Vikings for the first time, I think, in the video, make it to the playoffs. Commanders back in the playoffs, and I think that might be the first time for the Saints. I could be wrong. Look at the Panthers 9-8. Bryce just needed a new scheme and playbook. He could have easily made it to the playoffs. Man, Bears go 8-9, Rams 8-9. So maybe we see them in the playoffs in the next couple sims. Seahawks 8-9 as well. Lions didn't do so hot. Cardinals 3-14. Lamar with the most passing yards in the Cowboys scheme. You had Purdy, Rodgers, Watson, and McCarthy. Then you have Mahomes. Dak still ended up in the top 10. Look at Bryce Young, more than 4,000 yards, man. But we didn't have a 5,000 yard passer, so that was weird. Lamar had the most passing touchdowns with 41. Thought we would get better passing numbers. Pacheco, most rushing yards. Jacobs in second, McCaffrey, Barkley, and then Saquon. Zeke ended up in the top 20. And he had the second most rushing touchdowns behind Isaiah Pacheco. Najee and Chubb tied for third. Tyreek with the most receiving yards, playing that CD Lamb role. So this is a good playbook for that #1 wide receiver. Okay, they're going to get a lot of targets, a lot of yards, a lot of receptions. You have guys like Thielen, Sutton, Amari Cooper, Mike Williams, and Mike Evans. Tyreek, most receptions with 116. Then Thielen and Sutton with 110. Lockett, 108. Rasheed, 107. Devontae, most receiving touchdowns with 21. Then Hollywood, Mike Williams, even Odell. DeForest Buckner, most sacks. Then you had Reddick and Crosby behind him. Most tackles for loss, Jeffrey Simmons. Most INTs, Patrick Surtain. Lamar wins MVP when everyone had the Cowboys scheme and playbook. OPOY goes to Lamar. DPOY goes to Buckner. Parsons wins it in the NFC, and Jacobs wins OPOY. So for the first time, the Chiefs have the 1 seed in this video. Cowboys also have the 1 seed. Will we see the Vikings make a deep playoff run? Look at Miami. When they use Tyreek, how the Cowboys use CD, they end up making to the Super Bowl as a 7 seed, man. The Bengals made it to the Final Four. So we had 2 new teams in the AFC Championship game. Cowboys, Niners, we've seen both of them. Actually, this is the first time Dallas has made it this deep in this video. And it's when everyone's using their same scheme and playbook. Off to a good start for them. Quick look at the playoff schedule. The Ravens, for the first time, don't make it to the Final Four. They actually lose in round 1 to the Dolphins. Then Miami beats the Chiefs too. So this was not an easy path. They had to beat the Bengals as well. Minnesota got first rounded, unfortunately, their first time in the postseason in this video. Same with the Colts, 31-28, put up a good fight. New Orleans actually made it, to the divisional, lost to the Cowboys, who might end up being Super Bowl champs, so that's nothing to be ashamed about. Dolphins with the football first. Raheem Mostert getting the carry, making a nice move, getting the first down. Nice run. Now, Miami's a team that has a really good roster. I mean, you cannot tell me with a straight face that they don't have a good roster, offense and defense. So maybe it was just the scheme. Maybe it was just the playbook. That explains why they don't really make it deep in these experiments. Nice pass by Tua. Jonnu getting the first. Big third down. Let's see if the Dolphins will have to settle for 3. Oh, great block on Parsons, but Tua tries to force the issue. Ends up throwing a pick. And this one could end up being a house call. Will we see a DK Metcalf situation? Yes! Jalen Waddle walking down Jordan Lewis, preventing the pick six, but still huge play for Dallas. Dak gonna go to CD. They double teamed him and they still couldn't stop him. Yeah, so obviously this scheme, this playbook, you have a great number one, you're gonna thrive. I mean, we saw it in the stats. CD cannot get the catch this time. Dak returns the favor. Jalen Ramsey with the INT. So we're seeing on the defensive side, the playbook and scheme, you know, it relies on having a really good cornerback or two and letting them do their thing in man coverage. Ramsey with the INT. Crazy start to this Super Bowl. All right, let's see who's going to strike first in this one, man. Two crazy offenses. It was the Dolphins, but then the Cowboys scored right after. Dolphins take the lead right before halftime, 10-7, tied up at 10 late in the third quarter. Dolphins take the lead. We're tied up again. Will we see a game-winning drive from Dak Prescott? Less than 2 minutes left in this one. Dak trying to go to his receiver. Instead, it ends up in the hands of Javon Holland. Costly interception. Miami takes over at midfield. 1 first down, and they are Super Bowl champions. Fake jet sweep. Mostert protecting the football. Falling forward for 4 yards. Cowboys have 1 timeout left. They have to get a stop. Cannot let Miami get the first down. Mostert with the icing on the cake. Victory formation. So in the first sim, where every team had the Cowboys scheme and playbook, Tua Tagovailoa hoist the Lombardi Trophy. The Dolphins win the Super Bowl. That's a new one. I can't remember the last time the Dolphins won a Super Bowl on this channel. So far, getting different results. We have 2 sims left. All right, on to simulation number 2. Redoing the same season we just did. Will the Cowboys get back to the Super Bowl? Well, at least they make the playoffs again. They go 11-6. Bears back in the playoffs. Same with the Lions and the Falcons. Then you have the Eagles, 12-5. The Saints with the 2nd seed. The Niners with the 1 seed. NFC looking crazy in this experiment. Bucks go 10-7. So clearly they're doing a little bit better with the Cowboys playbook. Seahawks 9-8. Vikings 8-9. Rams 5-12. I don't know what it is. They just don't do good in these sims. Same with the Cardinals, Panthers. Commanders go 5-12. Dolphins with the 1 seed. Looking to go back to back. You have the Jets, the Bengals, Bills, Colts, Ravens, and Chargers. For the first time in the video, the Chiefs do not make it into the postseason. Look at the Jags and the Texans too. 10-7 for both of them, and they don't make it in. You gotta feel bad for them. Yeah, I'm shocked Kansas City did that bad. Richardson again, most passing yards. Dak ends up 2nd. McCarthy, Burrow, and then Goff in the top 5. Hurts and Purdy, 43 passing touchdowns to lead everyone. Dak, Burrow, then you have McCarthy and Richardson. A lot of crazy ratios, man. Jacobs with the most rushing yards in the league. Henry, McCaffrey in the top 3. 27 rushing touchdowns for Derrick Henry. 1 shy of LT's record. Brees and Mostert in 2nd. Then JT and ETN tied for 3rd. Jamar Chase, 100 yards a game on the dot. 1,700 yards total. Jefferson, Romeo Dubs, CD, and Mike Evans in the top 5. I'm telling you, this is a great playbook for number 1 wide receivers. 130 receptions. Okay, Michael Thomas, 149, still the record, but that's a crazy stat line by Jamar Chase. Didn't quite get the triple crown. CD had the most receiving touchdowns. Amon-Ra, Watson, Rondale Moore, and AJ Brown. Micah Parsons, 22.5 sacks. 7 INTs for Ramsey. MVP goes to Joe Burr. Hurts and Purdy right behind him. OPOY goes to Henry. DPOY to Judon. Parsons wins it in the NFC. And Lamb wins OPOY. I'm not gonna lie, you can't really say much about the Cowboys. I mean, that's 2 straight sims where everyone had the same scheme and playbook as them. And so far, they've been to the Super Bowl. They've produced an OPOY and a DPOY. But will they make it back to the Super Bowl? We have the Dolphins and Niners with the 1 seeds. Bears back in the playoffs. Lions, Falcons, Saints. I mean, let's see some new faces or not. The Ravens and Cowboys. 2 teams we've already seen in the Super Bowl in this video. Now, the Eagles, for the first time, get to the Final 4. Same with the Jets. Bears lose a thriller to Dallas, 35-38 in the wildcard round. Lions also lose in the wildcard round. Bills go home in the divisional to their division rival, New York. And then the Jets lose to the Ravens, man. Credit to the Cowboys. Back-to-back Super Bowl appearances. Just destroying all the narratives. Let's be honest. You can't say it's just the playbooks anymore because everyone has the same. We've seen both of these teams in the Super Bowl, so we're just going to sim. And Dallas ends up hoisting the Lombardi. Dak Prescott Super Bowl MVP. Told you, man, we're not just exposing, all right? It could be the exact opposite. We could be destroying the narrative that playbooks are what carries the Chiefs and the Cowboys. That might be exactly the conclusion that we have to come to. Now, there's one more simulation. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so. Do a ton of experiments like these. Just have fun on this channel. And I love taking suggestions, so leave in the comment section any ideas you have for me. If it's a good one, I'll make it happen. Final sim, the Chiefs back in the playoffs. 14-3. They get the 1 seed. Ravens, Texans, 12-5. Bills, Dolphins, Steelers, and the Chargers end up in the postseason. The Raiders with a good season. 9-8. Patriots, 8-9. Same with the Browns. Bunch of teams with 7-10. Colts end up 5-12. Niners with the 1 seed in the NFC. You have the Packers, the Eagles, the Lions back in it. Bucks and the Bears. Let's go. Hopefully one of them can make it deep. Cowboys go 8-9, but they still end up making the playoffs, man. Kind of a lackluster season for them. Commanders 8-9 along with the Saints. Panthers 7-10 along with a handful of teams. Rams 5-12. I don't think they made the playoffs once in this experiment, so I really do think EA just hates them. Tua with the most passing yards in the league. Rodgers, Love, Burrow, and Herbert in the top 5. Purdy with the most passing touchdowns. Tua and Mahomes tied for second. Then you have Goff with 41. McCaffrey, most rushing yards, 1,868. 200 more than second place Derrick Henry. Pacheco in third. Henry had the most rushing touchdowns, 26 though. Jacobs and Pacheco in the top 3. Tyreek thriving in this scheme, this playbook. Same with Pittman, Jamar Chase, Palmer, and Marvin Harrison Jr. AJ Keenan, Devontae, and Jennings with the most receiving touchdowns. Most sacks goes to Myles Garrett with 19.5. Tyson Campbell, 7 INTs to lead everyone. Mahomes wins his second MVP of the video. OPOY to King Henry. DPOY to Garrett. Hendricks wins DPOY. Back-to-back Cowboys. And then OPOY goes to Jacobs. Final playoff bracket of the video. Chiefs, Niners with the 1 seeds. Chargers, I think it's their first time in the playoffs. AFC's looking a lot different. I'm just hoping we get a brand new Final Four. Well, hey, man, we got the Bills in the Final Four. That's a new team. Unfortunately, they get blown out by Baltimore. We have the Ravens and Niners in the Super Bowl. Eagles fall 1 game short. Cowboys lose in round 1 by 1 point to Green Bay. Chargers lose in the first round. Steelers, same thing. Bears also lose. They go home in the wild card. Dolphins cannot get their second Super Bowl. Lions at least got a win in the playoffs. Then they got blown out by San Fran in the divisional, unfortunately. Texans also lose in the divisional. So our final 4 teams, the Bills are the only new team. Actually, I think the Eagles too. But hey, we've seen both of these teams in the Super Bowl. Third time in the video, we've seen the Niners and Ravens. Now we're just going to sim this one since, of course, we've already seen it. But it makes sense. Equal playing field across the board. The best rosters usually rise to the top, or at least that's what we should expect. And the Ravens get another Super Bowl win. Their second of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down below. Fun experiment. I'll see you on the next one.